everybody. My name is Sue Wall and I'm a member of the Wilton Garden Club. Today I'm going to show you how I make bows, and I think I make beautiful bows, so I hope you agree. I'm going to start with a small bow that you might put on your tree in multiples. I'm going to take this good old-fashioned plaid ribbon, and the first thing I do is make a loop in the middle. Some people call it the belly button. And I bring the loop around, then I scrunch it in nice and tight, and at this point I've got it between my index finger and my thumb. I'm never going to move that thumb. Then I bring it around and I twist the ribbon. The twist is important because that helps maintain the scrunch and the fluffiness. Some ribbons, like this ribbon, is the same on both sides, so you might be tempted to not twist it, but that's important. Then you decide the size of your loops, the diameter of your bow, you scrunch it in. Now I move my index finger to that outside scrunch. I think that's a legitimate word. Bring the next loop around to match the first one on the side, scrunch it in again. I just alternate these two fingers. Then you twist it and make an around the world loop like this. Scrunch that in, and this is going to be clipped to be the tail. Cut the ribbon off, and then my magic wire. This is cotton covered wire. I believe it's available in craft shops, not in this quantity, but it's very flexible, it's very strong. It comes in a variety of colors. Now the reason I use this is because I can tie this. It's called tie wire. I can bring this through, bring it around to the back, and tie it in a knot. So this is a bad thing. I use my teeth. You tie it in a knot. It will hold even with a single knot. But if you don't trust it, make it a double knot. The advantage to this is that you can get that tight tie, and it's so much harder with green florist wire to get in there with your fingers and really make it tight. This gives you that. As you can see, that's a very tight scrunch is the word. Then I like to dovetail my ribbons. So I cut that, and there you are with a smaller ribbon. This can tie onto your tree branch. It can be untied easily. And when you put it away for next year, stuff it with tissue paper, lay it in the box, and it'll be beautiful next year. Okay? Now, that's the good old plaid. Now I'm going to do something a little fancier, and I think maybe we'll pick something a little blingy. So this is what I'm going to use. Now, I will tell you my secret. I measure out, three and a half yards for starters. Okay? Because I like a lot of ribbon. All right, so this is 3.5 yards. Now, I'm not going to cut it, because you never know when you're hand making things if you might have a little variation and you get to the end and you go, oh gosh, I don't have enough to make the tails I want. So I mark it with a handy corsage pin right at 3.5 yards. I haven't cut it. I'm not going to have any waste. I'll pre-cut my wire. So that's ready. And if you're using really, really heavy ribbon and you feel you might want the wire doubled, I cut it about this long and then bend it over and twist it to just make it stronger. Okay, so here we go. The center loop, scrunch it in, and you can see that this ribbon is different on the other side, so you really have to twist it. Give it that twist, and again, I'm alternating these two fingers back there to hold the scrunch. I usually make the first couple loops on each side a little smaller than the diameter of the bow that I'm aiming for. Each time I bring it in, scrunch it, twist it, and make a new loop. I also tend to kind of direction aim those first few loops. Continue to twist, loop, scrunch, twist, loop, scrunch. I hope you like that word. Another loop, scrunch, twist. And you see I'm just placing them just slightly different, very slightly different directions. A twist, another loop, another twist, another loop. Now, this is a good size for a wreath, for a standard size wreath, but you may want something bigger. Now at this point, I can see, here's my pin. I say to you, well, how long do you want the tails? Oh, I don't want them too long. So this, at the pin, will be enough for that much of a tail. If you want them longer, say you want them that long, and that's 3.5 yards, well then I add another ½ yard, and I say, okay, we can do that. Is that a good size for the tail? You say, yeah, that's perfect. So that's where we cut the ribbon. We feed it through, and you have to make sure that you feed it through this center loop, or you'll lose the center loop. And then you're going to have to start all over again, and you'll be very upset with yourself. Pull it through. Tie it off in the back. I'll try not to use my teeth this time. At my age, I shouldn't be taking all these chances with my teeth anyway. Pull it tight. See how tight that is? You can't do that with a piece of regular wire. That's my little bugaboo. I like that the best. All right, then this is where we are. See? Take the pin out. Cut the dovetails. There you go. You can fluff it and rework it. Now I have 5 loops on each side. I've made as many as 9 loops on each side. Now one more thing I'm going to tell you, and I have a wreath here, and you're going to see it's a perfect size for the wreath. The other thing I want to tell you is when you put it on your wreath, you're going to bring this around and you're going to go through the greenery. But make sure that when you tie it onto the wreath, you pull the wire closer to the inside. And I'll show you what I mean. You pull the wire closer on the inside edge so that when the wreath is hanging, instead of it doing this, you want it to do this. Okay? So that makes it perkier. It's part of the overall picture instead of looking droopy. Okay? that's just one little hint. I'm not going to trim the rest of the wreath. I just wanted to show you that. Then you put it up and you play with it a little bit. And of course with the wired ribbon, you can do so much. Okay? Now I'm going to do, I want to show you wider ribbon. I have done tree bows where I use 20 yards of ribbon. That's a little tight on your hands, but it's pretty. It's beautiful. I'm trying to see. This might be easier to show you. This is a full yard. I mean a full roll. So I'm going to measure out 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here's 10 yards of ribbon. And I'm going to put my pin in that 10 yards just in case I change my mind. And this again would be similar to how you would do a treetop bow. Oh goodness, it's a lot of ribbon. So with the treetop bow, what I like to do is make it so it can be placed on the top of the tree. And some of the petals come down over that top cut branch so that it truly is a crown on the top of the tree. And then you can use whatever size or quantity of streamers you like. So again, I'll make that center loop because it's going to be right on top. Twist, loop. Now in this instant, I make the top few smaller. And loop and twist, twist, loop, and I'm gradually going to make these petals bigger. And I try to do it maybe in threes, 2 on this side, 1 on the other, and then reverse it. But you will see that this bow will be a cascade. I also like to do them in this style, not as much ribbon, but in this style for the top of a newel post when you're decorating a stairway so that it can cascade down. So I'm still twisting and looping, looping, twisting, looping, looping, twisting, looping. And you'll notice that I'm alternating my fingers as I do that loop and twist in the back. Oh, I do emphasize that you're building front to back in case you didn't catch on to that. Some things kind of come naturally and I forget to say it. And when all else fails, you can always call on me. Okay. Now this can be much bigger, much looser on a great big tree. And it can be larger ribbon like this, like this. There's just so much variety, so much you can do. All right, I think I'm going to stop here. And tie it off. Now, that was about 8.5 yards. I still have my pin in there. And I'm going to bring, let's say we want 3 streamers. So that's about 11 yards. Okay, I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to tie it off. And again, when you use this, leave enough wire, tie wire, so that you can work with it, so you can have something to tie. So again, I go through the middle loop. My thumb hasn't moved the whole time I was doing this. You never let go of that middle loop. Okay. Then, once again, I'll tie it off. Pull it nice and tight. Thumb is still in there until I get it pulled tight. And on this size, I definitely will double tie it. I just happen to like dovetailing ribbon. You can cut it at an angle. You can do whatever you want. You can put a knot at the end of the ribbons if you like. That weights it down a little more. Okay, now here's our treetop bow. Now, what you do is you start from the bottom and you pull the petals down and around, starting with the lower petals first, of course, and just keep pulling them down like a cascade and around so that you've got it all the way around. In this case, you barely see that center loop, but it finishes it nicely. Okay. And you're going to tie it onto that uppermost upright branch. It'll cascade down prettily. And there's your treetop bow. So I hope this helps you all. You're welcome to contact me. I want to thank you all for asking me to do this for you, and Haiku for filming it. I hope I was film worthy. Thank you. Have a wonderful holiday.